show you that. There was something else I had to tell you before we moved on, and I can't remember what it is, and I don't know. I lost it. Go to the next slide, Chef. Dang it. It was important, too.
You did the chart. You did the chart.
Yeah.
You know how to testify.
And then, who did we get comments from? We got a comment from you. Oh, that's what it was, you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Her comment. How many people here were raised in a different country? And at what age were you when you moved to this country?
I was 30.
You were 3 when you moved here? You were 26 or 27? Okay, how old? How old?
I come and go.
Okay, you've answered this question. You know what question I'm about to ask, don't you? You've already answered it. So we'll talk to you in a minute. And how long have you been in this country?
5 years.
Okay. All right. If you ask these 3 people, what did they notice the difference about the food from their country to this one? They'll tell you that there was a huge difference in flavor, and they can't explain it.
And my weight has changed drastically since I'm here. I wasn't like this. I've gained a lot of weight since I'm here.
You gained a lot of weight? They will tell you. Because remember how I said that list was what every other country calls food?
Mm-hmm.
So when they get here and they taste the food that we've been eating with the insecticides and the antibiotics and the hormones and the irradiation and all this and this and this and this, it doesn't taste the same to them, and they'll all say that. Why does the food taste so different? Why does it taste different?
I know.
For example, since I've been here, I've tried McDonald's, the McChicken, and it tastes so funny. I don't.
That's not chicken.
Whatever that is, I don't know, but I don't eat McDonald's. Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't
That
eat
pink,
that.
that pink.
Yeah.
One difference that I've noticed.
Pink one.
Yeah. All right, Miss Gates. Miss Gates has a question.
Okay, I've said this before. I lived in Germany as an adult for like 6, 7 years.
Okay.
And everything was fine. When I came back to the United States, I got sick from eating food
Yeah.
here. And the stuff that they give us now, it's an acquired taste.
Yeah.
If you come from outside the country, it'll taste nasty until you get used to
Yeah.
it. So we're used to these chemicals
Yeah.
and stuff in this food. That's all.
It's so funny because whenever you go to a different country, different than our own, you're always like, why does everything I eat taste so good?
Oh, yeah.
Any country, you're like, why does everything taste so good? It is true. That's the reason why is they have different food than us. It doesn't matter what country you're in. And it could be food like me. I do not like Caribbean food. I can't stand it.
No.
You know? But when I went to the Caribbean not long ago and I had some food, I was like, I don't even like this stuff, but it's so good. You know? And whenever I go to Europe, I'll get something that I've had, you know, like a roast chicken that I made myself with like rosemary and lemon. I made that myself a million times, but why does theirs taste better than mine? Don't tell me they're a better chef. That's impossible.
Better quality ingredients.
You know?
Yeah, better.
I'm old country boy.
Okay.
My grandfather had a hog farm,
Okay.
and believe me when I tell you, a quality of pork has diminished.
Oh, I know. It tastes like water now.
Flavor out of it.
There's no
Bring
flavor.
all the flavor out.
When we made hog head cheese,
Yeah.
we had hog head cheese.
Stop.
Y'all know what y'all mean. Recently, my daughter was in the store and I showed her some hog head cheese, and she turned it over and she was reading the ingredients. There's some of the ingredients that they had on the back of that bag. I'm like, that's a lot. No, we didn't use this in our home.
Yeah.
And grandma made hog head cheese twice a year. It's a shame.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was big like this all my life.
I know it.
Eating is just like a nature. I was eating table food when I was about 2 days old.
Well, you know what? You're gonna like contemporary things. We actually get a heritage pig in.
No,
We take that against a heritage, the old breed. and that's been naturally raised, and we taste it against the other pork that we get here in the school all the time, and it's literally like tasting water against meat.
Wow.
It really is. Yes.
I agree with him, like my grandpa, like his little shop, it's like, we got it, we can kill himself. So like, if you say, like, if you eat it, literally, you process and all that. Where are you from?
Well, there you go. Yeah, when she said that, we all knew the answer, didn't we? So that's over in, that's over by Bayou, isn't it? So it's in Cajun? Yeah.
Yeah, before you come out, temperature and the flavor now, I
Huh?
know it's like take bacon, but now it tastes like crap compared to the way it did 30 years ago.
I don't remember 30 years. I wasn't raised on bacon, so I don't know.
I was.
Yeah.
30 years ago, now it's better.
Well, all the food's different. We just, it was a gradual change. All right, so it's time to move on. All right, we'll talk more about all that when we get into contemporary cuisine. Now we're going back to the dietary intake, the dietary reference intake, the DRI. We have the RDA, which is the recommended daily allowance, and then we have AI, adequate intake, meaning you barely meet the standards. Okay, and then we have the UL, which is the tolerable upper intake level, which we meet, we go beyond with the bad food, but come nowhere near with the good food. All right, acceptable macronutrient ranges for adults. Remember, these are our macronutrients. We need the most of these. 45 to 65% of your diet should be carbs. 20 to 35% should be fat. And 10 to 35% protein. I can tell you right now, a lot of people's protein is way out of range. It's way up. And that's the story of cheap meat. And our carbs are way up. Yes, ma'am?
A lot of people, when they hear carbohydrate and your diet should be about more than half of that, it kind of is a little scary. Because when you think carbohydrate, you think it's
fat.
It's also fruit and vegetables.
and a lot of people don't know.
Yeah. It's fruit, it's vegetables, it's grains. That's what it is. And that's what, I mean, more than anything, they all come, it's all plants. Carbs come from plants in whatever form. Okay? So yeah, it is bread, because that doesn't come from an animal, but it's also asparagus. Okay? All right, go ahead. Skip it. All right, so 3 terms you need to know. Digestion, that's the process by which food is broken down into its components in the GI tract. And your digestive enzymes help that. So do your salivary, the saliva. The enzymes in your saliva help it as well. Absorption, the passage of these nutrients through the walls of the intestine into the blood, where they're transported to cells. And then metabolism is the process which the nutrients are used to support life. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so the digestive system, this is how this works. Starting in the mouth, your teeth and your tongue help you chew the food. Your saliva, as I said, helps break it down in the mouth and also lubricates it so it can go down the GI, the esophagus. The tongue rolls and chews the food into a ball to be swallowed. The food moves from the mouth through the pharynx to the esophagus through a muscle reaction called peristalsis. What that is that believe it or not, your esophagus and your pharynx almost have this invisible, it contracts, it goes like this, squeezing the food down, kind of like when you squeeze toothpaste. Okay, that's a contraction.
Like a snake, you can wrap.
Yeah, it opens and closes to push the food down. That's called peristalsis. Huh? Old people. You ever hear of old people choking to death on their food? because the metabolism slows down so much that the peristalsis is no longer as active as it should be, so the food sits there and they choke and die.
Oh, wow.
What? Yes.
Just laying down and, like, my grandma used to always tell me, don't lay down and eat because you will choke or whatever. Did that, like, slow that something down or something like that? To the best of my knowledge, I don't think so. I don't know. I've never heard that. Every time I'm laying, don't lay down and eat because you don't choke.
Yeah, a lot of people have to say.
I know if you go to
And
free
you know what? The only one they're saying,
you get
if you try and research, they're probably about 30% right on something. So I'm sure there is some truth to whatever she's talking about. I don't know what it is, but I bet you if we just dig deep enough. That's why I never, when old people tell me their things, I'm like, okay, why is that? Yeah. It stresses me out worrying about it.
And then you don't mess with the old people. No. Huh? I'm sorry? Oh, gravity? Well, that makes some sense. Gravity would bring it down.
Okay, and then your stomach, food passes from the esophagus to the stomach. Look at that, your stomach holds about 4 cups of food. How many of you can eat a whole pizza in one sitting?
I can.
Okay. That's more than 4 cups of food, people. How about a foot long from Subway or Publix? That's more than 4 cups of food, people.
I can eat the whole thing and more.
That's why our stomach is elastic. And so when you eat more,
So you get bloated.
it'll stretch. It stretches. You know?
Wow, I didn't know that.
You know that when people get gastric bypass, you know what they're doing? They're cutting it down to a small little thing again because it's stretched out so much. Thing is those people with the gastric bypass, if they go beyond full, it's going to start stretching again.
So why have the surgery? That doesn't make sense.
Right. Well, you've got to, along with the surgery, you've got to learn to know when to stop eating.
Oh, they.
All right.
Self-control. Choices.
It's a little more than that, but I think. Oh, that's what the skinny people say. Shut up. I'm tired of these skinny white girls. Telling me that I need self-control. All right.
Never mind, I'm gonna say something. You have a foot long.
Stop. All right. So acid, okay. Acid in the stomach helps during the protein digestion. Think Coke and meat. You ever do that experiment?
Yeah.
You ever heard of that?
No.
We put a piece of meat in a Coke. The next day, the meat's gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
You never heard that?
Yeah.
How about battery acid and Coke? You ever hear that one?
I don't drink Coke. I don't drink Coke. People put
You
Coke
guys
in
don't know
their
that
Coke.
one? Yeah, you got battery acid corroding your battery. Pour Coke on there. Gone.
People drink that? Yeah, people drink that. People drink that.
Yeah. Well, if you think Coke is effective, you should try bile. That's the acid in your belly. That stuff can eat a hand. You stick a hand in a thing of bile, your hand will be gone.
I don't want to do
Because think about it, it has to break down meat.
Right.
Y'all ever seen bile? You see pregnant women? I've seen bile plenty of times. Anyone here never seen it?
No.
Never seen it.
No.
Never seen it.
Oh, you throw up.
I don't believe you. Do you drink?
Well, I used to.
Okay, do you drink? Do you drink? Ever hog a toilet?
Yeah.
After the alcohol comes up, you're still feeling it, and you're like, oh, God. And everything's out of your belly, and all of a sudden, about a tablespoon of something comes out, burns the snot out of your throat. Stinks!
Wow.
And that's bile.
Okay.
Not that I've ever been that.
And who started it?
Throw it up.
That's bile. That stuff, that is why bulimics
have gray teeth
Yeah, it burns it.
because they keep bringing that bile up, and that bile's corrosive,
Yeah.
and it corrodes the enamel on their teeth. Okay, fatty foods leave the stomach after carbs and protein. All right, go ahead. All right, then they hit the small intestine. The small intestine, believe it or not, is like the nerve center of your whole body. Whenever anything reaches the small intestine, that's where when it gets there, it's going to go everywhere. Okay? That's where alcohol's digested, that's where your food's digested, everything. It's just once it hits the small intestine shoots it all over the rest of the body. Okay? So nutrients are still being digested. It's the site of most of your nutrient absorption. Most nutrients pass through the villi into the blood vessels. These are the little filter guys, and are transported to the blood. Nutrients travel in the blood throughout the body where they can enter the cells. And then a large intestine is connected to the small intestine. The small intestine pushes all the toxins into the large intestine and then out the poop chute. Okay, go ahead. I don't know why this does this. It does organic, and then it talks about eating food, and then it goes to sustainable in this book. It's a little choppy here. Let me just tell you what sustainable food is real quick against organic food. There is a difference. You saw the list of organic food, correct? You saw what makes organic. Let me show you what makes sustainable. All right, in order for it to be sustainable, it's very simple. Okay? And all organic food is not sustainable. And all sustainable food is not organic.
Okay.
All right? Now, in order for it to be sustainable, it must do all these things.
Habanero, fermented habanero. Chicken tenders, just put it in different, put it in the same bottle as our normal hot sauce. And I thought it was just like, you know me, I'm like, oh, this shit is spicy.
If I had to choose between organic or sustainable, one over the other, I would always pick sustainable.
Sustainable or organic?
Yes. Because organic could come from another country. It could come from California, like I said, which is most of where our organic farmers are in California. And they are a quiet hush-hush company owned by major producers. Like, for example, Kashi is owned by General Mills. Okay? Earthbound is owned by Del Monte. Do you understand?
I understand.
That they buy these organic companies so they can control them.
Right.
Okay? And so it kind of freaks me out. So I'd much rather buy sustainable than organic. Okay? In sustainable, where do you find it? You find it in the farmer's market. And like I said, in the farmer's market, they can't afford to use these antibiotics, these hormones, these pesticides, these herbicides. So you're pretty much getting everything that meets the organic standard, but it just doesn't have they can't afford the stamp. Okay? So sustainable means it protects the environment. Okay, what does that mean? Well, when you have feedlots, that's obviously hurting the environment. We talked about that, right?
Yes.
And I don't know if you know this, but herbicides and pesticides, when you're spraying your produce, they don't just kill a bug. They kill all the bugs. And remember from biology that everything in the animal kingdom supplies and depletes and whatever. When you kill everything, you're now creating infertile soil.
Yeah.
And if the soil dies, what happens to us?
We die.
We die.
Killing the planet.
Right. Okay, so when you're doing sustainable, you're protecting the environment, you're not hurting it, you're not doing feedlots, you're not doing sprays, you're not doing any of that. You're supporting your local economy. So you're not always doing that when you buy organic, because it comes from other places. But when you're buying sustainable, you're buying something within your region, and therefore, that helps to protect the environment as well. Because if you're buying within your region, it's not being transported, and you don't have emissions from the transportation, the fossil fuels being burnt from it getting to you in the transportation, via airplane or train or boat or whatever. Okay? So that helps supporting your economy. It also helps protect the environment. All right? It's good for your health. You're not eating all these poisons and toxins and what have you. It's humane to the animals. We're not making them live in their own waste and pretty much torturing them before we kill them. And not feeding them something they were never intended to eat. Okay? And it provides a fair wage to the farmer. We're cutting out the middleman when you buy sustainable. You're going to the farmer's market and you're giving the farmer the money. Whereas if you go to the grocery store gets a cut, the wholesalers get a cut, the marketing gets a cut, the packaging. Today, right now, for every dollar you spend on food, the farmer gets about 5 to 6 cents. The guy who makes the box that holds the food gets 25 cents.
That's boring.
So the people who provide the packaging make more money than the people who provide the food.
Wow.
That's great. So this way you cut all that out and you give the money right to the farmer.
Cut out the middleman.
So that's the difference between sustainable and organic. All right, and I will do this PowerPoint with you tomorrow because this is a kind of a hot topic. Okay?
Yes.
Questions? Y'all have a good day. If you wouldn't mind,